Hello, everyone. Joseph here, creator, director, and one of the writers on Love Undone. I'm so happy you all enjoyed that first breakdown. I'll try to get to as many as I can. Today, I'll be doing two scenes from episode 206 titled Where It Hurts. That title actually came from a song from Tamar Braxton's first album. That is the inspiration for the title. This episode is written by Brandon Harris Williams and myself, and I also directed the episode. For this first scene, we're going to look at Rufus, Juanita, and Daniel in their big confrontation. So, fun fact, originally when this scene was written, Jeremiah and Rufus both had planned to move in with Daniel post their big sort of arguments in episode 204. But due to some scheduling issues, and I'm glad it kind of ended up this way, Jeremiah sort of unofficially moved in with Tori so we could build a little bit more on what their friendship and relationship looked like. And I use relationship in air quotes. So originally we had Juanita going to ambush Daniel and she was going to find them with Rufus and Daniel. But instead, we had Daniel come over to Juanita's house. And as you know, if you've watched the show, even our other show, Unconditional Love, Daniel has always had a key to Juanita's home and was hoping to talk to her. And as you can see, it turned into something much more bigger than that with Rufus coming in when he was told to stay in the car.
That's how you feel. What did I do to you?
What didn't you do?
So, back to the list of fun facts. In this scene, when we shot it, Rufus, Daniel, and Juanita were not all in the room at the same time. Daniel and Juanita were, but Rufus was not there yet. And as a director, you sort of have to shift and pivot. And we were running the risk of losing time and maybe not being able to get this scene. So what I did, I actually served as a stand-in for Rufus while Juanita and Rufus had that exchange. And then when Rufus came, we were able to get his side. And as you can see, it matched up perfectly. I like to say that for other independent creators out there who may need tips and tricks to pivot, this was another fun fact moment that was not so fun, but really sort of allowed me to think on my feet as a director and how we were ultimately going to get the feeling and the pacing of the scene down without losing it completely.
That is what I was trying to convey.
Really? Under Ms. Hill's leadership, 2 students have picked up needles, putting the rest of the school in danger. Custodians cleaning up in the morning is merely a cover-up for a much larger issue at hand.
Is that not the truth? Would you rather me...
But up until this point, Daniel has sort of sacrificed and compromised sort of his dreams for other people. And he wanted to do something for himself that would propel him forward in his career, especially after the betrayal from Elijah. This was something he felt like could push him and motivate him. But it came at a cost, right? He had to throw his mom essentially under the bus and affect her sort of job as the first Black principal. So it was a muddy area, but it really created some layered drama for their first interaction this season.
I waited for this moment my entire life. I busted my ass.
You work hard by doing things the right way.
Because you say so? Fuck that.
And as you can tell in this moment by Daniel's cussing, he is fed up and is not wavering in where he stands. He feels like this is the right thing for him, which was extremely important for me writing that, for him to sort of stand firm in what he believes in. And I just have to say I'm very proud of Shaquan, who plays Daniel, and Sonia, who plays Juanita. They've had many scenes together, but this is by far their best work. So very proud of them.
Cough medicine, flu medicine, vitamin C, and some herbal tea. Little man's gonna be back to himself in no time.
This is probably one of my most proudest moments as a director. These two always bring their A game, and anytime you get to sort of peel the layers, the very complex and complicated layers of Lori and Cameron, it's always a great time for me as a director because they're both at conflicting points in their lives, very messy, with who their exes are and who they're currently dating. So just being able to have things come to a head in this scene is, I'm always so proud watching this one back.
Yes, I am.
I'm not about to do this shit.
No, this shit is all your fault.
So you'll probably hear this often throughout these breakdowns, but this was another scene that changed due to losing a location at the last minute. Originally, Cameron was supposed to go over to Lori's house, and Rashad was going to be there, and there was going to be this thing, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. I believe there were like 6 versions of the scene. One where Tori and Lori was supposed to meet as well, and I know you fans of Love of Undone have been wanting to see an interaction, and to that I will say stay tuned. You will not be disappointed. But this was another moment where we had to pivot, but I feel like it did not change the scene at all. We got to the bottom of what these two really wanted to say to each other, and ultimately where we wanted to leave things for the two of them by the end of the season, preparing to go into this final season.
That is the issue. You don't see that? You have the audacity to have her around my son.
You didn't pick up the phone.
So what? I deserve one night.
And I love this moment, right? Because Lori doesn't need to explain anything to him. I kind of feel that way. I don't know if you guys feel that way. Let us know how you feel. But I feel like if she deserves to be happy, as she has stated many times throughout the show, and especially in this season. And it was super important for her to express that to him. But I also understand where Cameron's coming from, in the sense that, she keeps tearing him down. Like, what more do I have to do as well in this moment? So it created a really layered moment for the two of them.
After I get alimony, I'll be out of your hair.
Alimony? Have you lost your mind? You cheated.
So Lori has been, digging into Cameron this entire scene. And as we were sort of developing this moment in the room, we were sort of thinking of what Cameron could sort of say to get Lori back, or what he could think that would sort of shake Lori. And this idea of alimony came up, that Cameron wants to get alimony, which is very laughable, right? Because he messed up, he ruined the marriage, and now he's asking for alimony. And Lori sort of calls him out on that. You've been acting immature, the nerve of you to ask for that. And this is another one of my favorite songs that carried us out of this episode and really anchored Lori's emotional ending. She's balancing a lot, being a mother, trying to have a career, trying to re-explore things that made her happy when it comes to poetry, and then also trying to figure out where she goes with this man in her life, who she obviously likes, but it's obviously complicated because he is the ex of the woman who her husband cheated on her with, which is very messy when you say it out loud. But she's trying to balance all of those things. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If there is another scene that you would like me to break down, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for supporting our show. If you are not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. There is a lot of information coming soon on our 3rd and final season, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out.